They say when tragedy strikes, it leaves an imprint, a wound in time that never really heals. And sometimes, when the past wants to remind us that it still lingers, it does so in blood. October 2023. A group of tourists visits Lake Lanier, Georgia. A young woman poses for a picture on the dock, laughing as the water glistens behind her. Moments later, she's gone, vanished. No scream, no splash, just gone. Her body is found days later, floating, eyes wide open. But the autopsy is strange. No signs of drowning, no water in her lungs. It's as if something pulled her under and let her go when it was done. Lake Lanier is no ordinary lake. It was built over the ruins of a town that once thrived but was swallowed by water. Homes, buildings, even cemeteries, all submerged. Some say the spirits of those buried beneath still roam, dragging the living down as revenge. Others believe there's something older in that lake, something that takes what it wants. And it's not the first time. Over 700 people have died in that water. Some were good swimmers. Some never even surfaced. But they all had one thing in common: fear frozen on their faces when they were found. Maybe they saw what waits beneath, and maybe it saw them first. March 2024. A funeral in Brazil. Mourners gather to say goodbye to a man pronounced dead just days before. His body, cold and still, lies in the coffin as the ceremony begins. Then a sound, knocking, from inside the coffin. Gasps, screams. The family rushes forward, opening the casket, only to find the man alive, gasping for air, eyes wide with terror. He had been buried alive. Doctors had declared him dead, but they were wrong. He had spent 2 days trapped in a box, clawing at the wood, screaming into the silence. But here's where it gets worse. When they pulled him out, he didn't just look scared. He looked haunted. He kept whispering something over and over again. They were down there with me. Who? No one knows. Because just a few hours after he was rescued, he died for real. Some say he was hallucinating. Others believe the dead tried to claim him. And when he escaped, they came back for what was theirs. And he wasn't the first. Victorian England. They fear being buried alive so much that they install bells inside coffins, just in case the dead woke up. And they did. More than a few graves were found with scratch marks inside, some with bones twisted in unnatural ways, as if they had been fighting something in the dark. Maybe death isn't instant. Maybe it watches, waits, and decides when it's truly ready to take you. April 2024. A family moves into a house in New Orleans. It's old, beautiful, filled with history. But at night, the walls whisper. At first, it's just soft murmurs. Then it becomes crying. Then screaming. The mother wakes up at 3 a.m., heart pounding. She swears she hears someone calling her name, but everyone else is asleep. And then one night, the youngest child disappears. Not for long, just a few minutes. They find her standing in the hallway, staring at the wall. When they ask her what happened, she simply says, "They told me to come play." Who? She points to the empty space in front of her. The family moves out, fast. But the next people who move in, they hear the voices too. Because that house has a history. It was built on top of a graveyard. Not an ordinary one, an unmarked burial site for the victims of the 1853 yellow fever outbreak. Thousands died. Many weren't given proper burials. Some were thrown into mass graves. And some never left. The house still stands. And at night, if you listen closely, you can still hear them. Because the dead don't always stay quiet. History hides dark secrets, and some echoes never fade. What do you think? Are these just coincidences? Or is there something more? Let us know in the comments. And if you love uncovering the mysteries of the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more deep stories from Shadow of the Past.